Welcome everybody to the group call for the week. It is 28th of July. Thanks for jumping on. You can hear I've got a little bit of a congestion on the go. I don't know what the hell that is, but anyway. Hey guys, don't forget to like these videos. I mean, I'm posting them on YouTube, hardly getting any likes, so it looks like we're not offering anything good over here. So smash the like button, okay? All right, so let's get into it. First of all, our signal chart. I mean, Jesus, how amazing is this signal chart? I mean, it's most Sunday nights, in the US, most Sunday evenings when the market opens, we get these absolutely incredible moves and these highly incredible signals that just give you such an amazing start for the week. So you can see over here as the market opened, we already had a breakout marker left behind over there. We've got our trend following band over here, which is holding the price up nicely. And then I should make sure I've got everything working. Yes. So we've got our trend following band working nicely, and we've got these breakout markers being left behind. We have our momentum line completely deviating from price, which is telling us, there should be a reversal coming. But since the introduction of these breakout markers, it's really helping people not to jump in too soon for a reversal. So even though you're seeing this major momentum line reversal, these breakout volume markers are really key to watch what they're doing, and also seeing what the supporting indicators are providing. So that is pretty cool. And I got my freaking camera covering the screen, which is not very helpful. So I'll deactivate that. Okay, so love this chart. I mean, it's, keep using it. Look at our Fibonacci levels too. They're extremely powerful. Fantastic. Okay, so let's have a look at our results for last week first, and then we'll jump into the update. Okay. So we've got excuse me. We've got, so thanks for popping some, results into our group results all chat too. Very helpful. We've got some of the templates that you guys have created. So you've had a really awesome template there that you created there for the slower moving instruments. So thank you for that. Your 6A, 6E, so really cool. Christopher had an amazing NQ template that he's been running, which is good. Okay, so that is that. One of the templates didn't work too well over there. We had somebody denied for Apex payouts, but I've messaged you separately. So these companies, they really try, they try to find every single way possible to not pay you out. I mean, that's just what they do. And I was reviewing some of their, terms and conditions. And basically what it's saying is that they do not want fully automated, they do not allow fully automated strategies to trade on Apex. Okay, so that is a strategy where you just activate, you've got no control over it, you just let it run and let it work. But the thing is, you guys, all of the DTB traders strategies, okay, all of our strategies have buttons on them. So we have semi-automated strategies. Okay, so we don't have set and forget strategies. Okay, so if they are denying you for payouts for some bullshit, tell them actually we fall exactly within the rules, because we are able to choose, either take long trades only or short trades only. We can pause the strategy during different news times or whatever. So there's definitely there's definitely you got to speak to the right person, basically. So go into that. Message me separately if you need more information on that. But don't let them screw you over, okay? All right. Carrying on here with the results. Perfect. Thank you. some new members that joined last week, which is cool, who have shared their results. So thanks for that. Going very well. Some really nice results. So thank you guys for sharing. So they're all in the chat here. You guys can review that at any time. So thank you for that. I mean, there's some really awesome results there, copying trades, which is awesome. So yeah, just definitely read these guys' terms and conditions, because I can guarantee you they're going to find ways to screw around. Okay. All right. So that's that. We had our game plan also perform fairly well this week. I certainly ended in a profit. So the game plan worked well this week. So thanks guys for that. I mentioned also I might be focusing more on the micros templates, especially that you guys are focusing more on these funded things. So that's good. My results for the day. Okay. Was that a losing day for me? I think it might have. Oh, I loaded the wrong template. Okay. NQ stuffed around. NQ made a loss on this template, which is why we ended up down for the session. But apart from that, the guys running the micro accounts did pretty good. Trade copier, you guys had some issues with trade copiers this week where they stuffed things up, which wasn't cool. So I'm definitely going to be working on a trade copier, but I do not want to start from scratch. Okay, I'm too busy to go and start from scratch. So if anybody's got some sort of a some sort of a trade copier that they've worked on, or that does work to a certain extent, I can certainly build on that. And I actually might even combine a trade copier into the strategies. I mean, I don't see an issue with being able to do that. So, I should be able to create an option inside the strategy to copy directly from the strategy to multiple accounts. I've already got the technology in there to monitor account balances and to monitor, profit and loss on an account level. So I'm sure if I add in options there to select different accounts, where you're selecting different accounts, actually, I might as well show you what I meant by that. So if I go into a strategy, and we'll take the baseline wick trader as an example. I'll just disable this one. I've actually got the stuff in here to be able to select accounts. So there should be a way for me to add a trade copier into the strategies where you select an account and you say copy to this account. I mean, I don't see a problem. I don't see why that shouldn't be a difficult thing to do. But again, I don't want to start from scratch building a trade copier. I would rather have a rudimentary one given to me, and I can obviously make it better. Okay, so that's what we can do, because obviously these trade copiers are shit. Like everything else out there is shit. So, I've got to make things better, right? Okay, so again, thanks for that. Awesome. There was my results for the day too. So really cool. Yeah, we got stopped out by 2 ticks on one of the freaking contracts. That's was crazy. And then on Friday, I still had positive results on Friday, which was really good. But I did have NinjaTrader issues. I mean, this type of shit, it's crazy. Where there's data corruption, things going wrong. But this was on the previous contract, which should still actually be in operation by the end of the week. This whole contract rollover is a real pain in the ass, because there's a lot of manipulation and corruption around it. So, but even though with that happening, I still ended up on a profit. So we were good with that. Okay, so let's move on from there. Excuse me. Okay, so I saw some messages earlier. I wasn't able to work last night because I wanted to test the new update that I released. I noticed there was a difference between the results from the previous templates to the newest templates. Sorry, there was a different result in the strategy performance from the old templates to the new templates on the new assembly. So I thought everything looked perfectly fine. I didn't change any of the code related to the strategies. I basically just added to it. So somehow NinjaTrader has just decided to screw with me and produce different results. So I'm going to go and review that and make sure that, you know, the previous results we were getting on the templates are definitely still going to continue, but then work with the new update. So, you know, before I release templates for the game plan for the week ahead, I'm just going to review the strategy and review the updates that I've done, just to make sure that, you know, they're working fine. So in the meantime, we could just look at the updates, but then like I said, I might release a new assembly, you know, if I can discover what exactly is causing those discrepancies. Okay, so let's first look at the indicator update. Okay, so last week we covered this indicator here, which was basically our opening range indicator. So what this basically does is it'll tell you the first 5 minutes of the 9:30 to 9:35, and it will give you the range. It's basically highlighting the range of that opening. And then what it's doing is it's drawing basically Fibonacci levels, which are not, you know, I wouldn't really activate those. But what it's basically doing is it is drawing, it's calculating the width of this, and then it's putting lines above that to match the size. And then those lines will continue all the way up until the next session. So if you have got, like on this indicator over here, I've basically saved a template. So if you go into your indicator settings after you've loaded this indicator and you go template load, you will see there's a 9:30 to 9:35 in there. So all I've done basically is I've made all of these times 9:30 to 9:35, just so that it only shows one section, or it shows one thing. So, but you can have different starting ranges for different times of the day. So, I mean, if you're trading from London, or you're trading from anywhere, you know, in Europe, and you want to have specific times of the day which you are monitoring for an opening range, this indicator can do it. So that's what makes it customizable. And what it does is it uses those exact same lines, and it goes all the way up until the next 9:30. So you'll see over here, these ones start at 9:30, but the previous ones, they plotted from the previous 9:30. So not just until the close of the day, but actually all the way up until the next 9:30. And because there was a Saturday, yeah, it's not going to show the previous ones because there's a break in the session. So this is from like the 9:30 a.m. all the way up until the close of the trading day, but then it's continuing all the way until the next 9:30. And it's amazing how, you know, looking at the following trading day, how those lines, you know, are going to be there still. And, you know, you could probably take signals off them too, which is why they've been left in there. Okay, so that's that indicator. We covered that in detail. If you go into the settings, you can also just show the one Fibonacci level. I mean, you don't see those levels as the price moves on, but if you only want to see the one, you can definitely click that box and it will just make that one level. So, I mean, the reason why we put Fibonacci levels there, it's just basically percentages, right? So when the price moves on from this initial opening range, that is just basically the percentage up until the next line, which is the same size as, you know, this value here. Okay, so that's what that is. So as the price moves, you can see this one here, it went, just to the 38.2. I mean, I don't see a major benefit in having this, but I mean, you could have, it's just showing you the percentage moves. That's all it is between those levels. Okay, so so I'm going to remove this indicator for now. We'll combine it with the updated one in a moment, but I don't want to have all the lines confusing. So if you scroll down in your indicator list, you will see DTB trade. See that was the trade zone we just covered. Now this one is called the trade zone extension. So you double click on that, and what you'll see in this one here is it's going to show the initial range. So the initial range will be your 930 to 935. Okay, and then it's going to show the open line, which is fine. Now there are some lines in here. So there are some bullish, bearish, and neutral lines. The code behind this hasn't been completed yet. So I'm combining a whole lot of indicator calculations into this to tell you, what the price is doing. So that's just there for the moment. It's not really having full effect. There is some filters in there, but not to the extent that I need it to be. Okay, and then what this also has is it's called the opening range. So what this does is it's going to show you, first of all, the initial range, which is the first 5 minutes, but then you're going to be able to choose a time period. So over here, it's got 60, which means 60 minutes. Excuse me. Again, any questions, guys, just pop them in the group calls chat on Discord. I'll monitor them as we're going through the session. Okay, so this period here is the period that we're going to classify as the opening range. So 60 minutes. So generally, the first 60 minutes of the session is going to give us a very good indication of, some good supports and resistance levels. It's going to show you a range of where price is, and often we can trade out of that range or within that range. So this could be 60 minutes, it could be 90 minutes, but the consensus is 60 minutes. Okay, so we'll show you what that looks like in a moment. So this is a customizable value that you can add. Okay, and that's just the width, and then it's going to show you the extension value. So the extension is similar to the trade zone, where it's basically going to show, the price movement above and below. So it's going to show you a 50% extension, 100% extension, 150, 200, and you can disable any of these if you want. We'll just have them all on for now. And then it's got text color. So if you go and apply this to a chart, okay, what this looks like is that, and the thing is with this, it only plots up until the end of that trading day. Okay, so that's what this does. So let's go to the beginning of the day, and I've got this on a minute chart just because it's a lot simpler to read. Okay, so here is our time. Okay, so we've got our 9:30, which is over here. So 9:30 to 9:35. Okay, and so that point there. So this level over here, maybe just mark this a bit better. So it's basically showing the high. So that was the high of that opening range, and this was the low of that opening range. So this is the initial range. Okay, so that's the 9:30 to 9:35. So what this does is it's going to draw these purple lines all the way up until 10:30. And what happens at 10:30 is it's going to take the high and the low between the 9:30 and the 1030, and it's going to mark that. So there's the high there. And as you can see, just before the 1030 at 10:09, that was the low. So what that's done now is it's actually created a new high and low range. So now we have an opening range high, an opening range low. We have the opening range middle. And then we also have the initial range low and the initial range high. So obviously the initial range was the initial 5 minutes, right? Okay, so that's what that looks like. And then those lines draw towards the end of the session. So you've got this now, which is showing you these values, and they are going to plot all the way. So as you can see, I mean, it's all good and well to see this in hindsight, but you need to see these with supporting indicators that can tell you when the most likely points of reversals are. But we can see price bouncing around, getting to these levels, the initial range. I mean, they all are there. So it's giving you a lot more information about that initial determined time that you have analyzed. And then as the price breaks out of a high, often you can be trading, when the price is bouncing off certain levels, like there's your opening range high bouncing off. And then ideally also one of the best options is to trade breakouts of those zones. So the idea is to actually trade the breakouts of the zone. But if the price is staying within the zone, then you can trade within that zone. Okay, so there that is, and we'll just continue it on. So there was a nice high, and there it reached the 50% zone extension. So if we look at this, okay, so you'll see that this is your 50%, right? So we're going to go here. We'll measure this. So there's the opening range high. So this here is 293 ticks. And if we look at this, that's the middle, okay? That's the middle. So you'll see that's why it's called the 50%. So the 100% extension, which is that one there, this here is going to be the total size of that opening zone. Okay, so if we look over here, that's going to be, the 589, which will be the exact same size as, this value over here. So that's how they are calculated, these range extensions. If I remove this, okay, so that's how this is looking like. And now coming back within, I mean, that was a very, very fast throwback inside. I mean, probably would catch a lot of people out. And then we'll just go on till the end of the day, and that's that. Okay, so you can see a lot of bouncing around between, the ranges. So, it's just another little way of seeing, what price is doing, where it's likely to go next. There could be quite a few different ways of how to trade that. But especially when you're using supporting indicators. I don't think it's something you can use on its own. It's something that you would need to use with supporting indicators. And obviously, the show me the money template, that is something I would 100% have on another chart. So this chart over here, it's good to have on a separate window. And if you want to have this, as a DTB bars, you can certainly do that also. So if you go DTB bars and you just go like let's go 40-40, like this, it's still going to show you the same values. Okay, so the indicator has got a built-in data series. So there you can see from the beginning, you've got your opening range, the high and the low, and then the good thing about these bars is it's taking away all the noise, okay? All the noise associated with minute bars are completely gone. So you've actually got proper price. You can see price properly now. So, you can't make any sense of minute bars. They're not really, they're not really defined properly. They're only defined by time. But if you want to see proper price movement, if you want to see, the clearest price movement, you got to look at the DTB bars, or any of the, even NinjaTrader has in here, they've got the range bars. Okay, so that's another thing you can look at, if where it's also going to separate. So range bars, it's also, the price has to move 40 ticks away from where it starts to be able to, plot a new bar. So they're not a bad bar to use, but obviously the DTB bars is a lot clearer, because you can see these bars, they don't kind of end and start, correctly. So you definitely want to use, and maybe even the Renko. The Renko could also be used on this. Okay, they're also going to be evenly spaced bars. Okay, you can see how they, they're very evenly spaced, and each bar is a certain value. So you're not going to be, you can see basically exactly what price is doing, because each bar is the same size. So definitely, if you used to trade minute bars, I mean, it's so backwards actually, if you really think about it, because you can't actually measure each bar properly. You wouldn't know where to put your stops and targets, and all this nonsense about candlestick analysis. It's just not, it's not very smart. Okay, so data series. So I'm going to go back over here and switch this back. Yeah, so even like a 40-40 bar is a good option to do this. So you basically want to get an overall picture of what this is showing. So you want to see where price is, where it's going, where it is at the moment compared to these different levels, and then you can decide whether you're going to go long or short. But obviously, looking at signals first on here, you see all these signals now have been updated. We've got a serious push up here. So constantly, these signals are going to be updated. And also, one of the reasons why, so we'll just go back to the 6 o'clock over here. So remember we saw a marker over there. The price has moved 337 ticks. Okay, so the indicators, if you remember from a previous discussion on this, the indicators have a reset in them. Okay, so what this is doing, if we go to the breakout volume markers, what these are doing is these are giving you signals within a time frame reset distance. So you see that every time the price moves 200 ticks away from a breakout marker, that breakout marker is going to reset. So some of you, I mean, I never had this reset marker in there before, but I put it in recently just to give you guys more signals. But these ones over here, I mean, if you had to adjust all of these to their old levels, or even if I put 600 ticks, because we know that today the price wouldn't have moved 600 ticks yet. I'm just going to put these on here like that. Okay, you're going to see that those markers are going to be there. So they haven't reset, because you can see the price has moved 218, 256 ticks. So during the US session, when you are going for much larger moves in the price, or going for much larger targets, and you want to see the accurate values of those historic breakout markers, you can certainly leave them on a much higher value, like I've done there, like 600 ticks. Because then those are only going to reset when that specific marker receives a new signal. So that is something you can just remember. So over here, the first marker that was left behind was at 602. That marker definitely did reset because it's missing. But the red one, this crimson one and this Dodger blue one, they haven't reset yet. Those are their true values. Okay, so going back to this. Okay, so we saw that. Now, what you can do with this also, and I might just switch this back, and I'll leave it on this. So if we go back to the indicators, and I'll add on the trade zone, so the initial one that we worked on last week. Okay, trade zone. And we'll go template load. Okay, so this is going to give you more information now. So if we go back, so there's our initial range. So the exact same thing's going to happen here. It's going to mark out those values. But what it's also going to do is it's going to plot these extension lines above and below. So you'll see it's got those green lines and the red lines. And the red lines, but then those are going to plot all the way up until the next session. So you'll see how they continued on up until where the price is right now. So if we change this back to like a minute chart, you'll see that these lines will continue all the way up until the next 9:30. So you'll be very surprised how those lines, come into effect, or how those lines, can be used, for the next session and going forward. So even today, we had the price play around at this level, but then really shoot off from there. So that's just something you guys can look at. You guys might find some ideas for this. I've actually got an automated strategy for this trade zone, which I haven't released yet. But it basically takes trades when the price has reached a certain percentage out of the trade zone window. So what it basically does is it's going to monitor the price movement of the initial range over here, and then you can choose a percentage of where you want to enter position. So say for example, 100% or 200% or 300%. Those ones over there, it will enter a trade when the price touches there. So like this one over here would be like the 100%. So it would enter a trade over there, a long trade over there. So it's basically monitoring, what those percentages are of price movement beyond that. Okay, so that's something I'm working on in the back end. Okay, so now going to our automated strategy. So like I said, I'm just going to review the update to see why previous templates are showing different results. But we'll quickly look at this setting. So you'll see in the setting there, it's got their counter strategy reversing signals. Okay, so that there, I'll activate the strategy. You'll see over here, I've got all entries listed. So entry 1, entry 2, entry 3, and entry 4. They all listed over there. I've got target ticks. I've got stop ticks. I've got the trade size over there. And I've just put 7 to 4. I mean, this is not an optimized template. It's just I might even add the indicator. Excuse me. And if you want email alerts, just put your email in here, right? Don't put your email, put your actual email. So that is in there. I'm going to activate this. Okay, so this is what this does. So as you guys know, the normal baseline wick trader. Now, you might not actually know this, some of you new guys, but the normal baseline wick trader would enter would enter shorts over here. So the baseline wick trader, as it is known, up until now is what it basically does is you're optimizing settings to find the best reverse signals. So when you have a signal generated, the baseline wick trader is actually shorting positions based on, like false signals. That's what it's doing. It's trying to find which are the best optimized false signals generated, and then we're entering short positions. That's how the baseline wick trader works. So it's opposite to the analytical strategy, which is looking for actual signals and then trading them. The baseline wick trader is trading reverse signals from the entries, from the baselines. So now what I've done is I've added the option to make the baseline wick trader trade, similar to the analytical strategy, but choosing different points. So you can see over here that we've got multiple entries. Okay, so this thing is going to enter limit orders. So the strategy is gonna produce limit orders, but instead of being sell limit orders, they're gonna be buy limit orders. So it's gonna produce one. It's gonna produce, well, as many as you select in the settings, right? So there's up to 4, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, so and all of those signals are only going to enter, those trades are only going to enter when the price touches them, and the price has to be in the green. I mean, your strategy has to be in the green for those entries to be taken. So the benefit with this is you're not going to be breaking any rules of these funded account companies, because you can take as many positions as you want as long as your current position is in the green. So what this is doing is it's ensuring that that's the case. It's only going to take that entry, if the price touches it and it's in the green. Okay, so that's how that works. And, for some of you guys, if you don't want to trade, if you do not want to trade the automated strategies for whatever reason, okay, what you can do is you can still load up the automated strategy settings. So you can still load an indicator with 510 on it. Okay, you can still load the indicator, and it'll show you the brick walls. Or you can have a automated strategy running on sim. And then what you can do is you can monitor the brick walls, you can monitor the coloring of the bars, and that'll give you a very, very high probability entry for taking positions. Okay, so obviously some of them will not be successful. Like this one over here, you see it took 2 positions and then stopped out. So you're going to have the price very often bounce around these brick walls. So, this is to take out stops. So the banks and institutions know exactly what they want to do. So you can see over here, before they push price up, and in this section over here, they're taking out stops. So they want to take out stops, and then they're going to keep pushing their position up. So sometimes around these brick walls, you are going to notice, the price bouncing around a little bit. So you can choose your entry position a certain value above the brick wall. So you don't have to enter on the very first bar. You could enter on the second bar that closes above the brick wall. Okay, so like over here, okay, this is going down. So if you were going to sell over here, you would be depending on where your stop is. Remember, the second bar is to look at. So over here you wouldn't have been stopped out, but then over here you would have. But as soon as the price goes above, you would exit anyway. But you're looking at price movement where they stop bouncing price around, and then they're going to run with price. So very often that's going to be the case. You can see how they just bounce around slightly around the brick walls, and then they run direction. So these brick walls on this indicator are phenomenally accurate in determining where price is likely to go next. So you can be looking at this chart while looking at this chart over here and then seeing, you know, where price is in relation to what this is telling you. I mean, for many of you guys, if you just want to do scalping trades and you just load up an optimized template, whatever template you load, optimized, it's going to show you these brick walls. And they are going to be extremely powerful for entering positions. I mean, you can see everywhere, every single way you can see that, you know, these are 100% amazing for entering positions. So any chart that you want to load, and I mean, I like to, if I go like this, so a very common number I like to use, if I go to my indicators and I go to my SI indicator, which is the exact same indicator that is used in the strategy. Okay, so the baseline wick trader, the analytical strategy are all using the SI indicator. Okay, so that is a different one. So the SI indicator, why have I got S used in SI strategy? That might have been one of the previous versions. That's okay. So this one over here, if you had to put in, well, we had 510 on there, right? Yeah, that is plotting. Okay, that's fine. So this is going to show arrows and stuff. I mean, it's not, let me just get this out of the way. So you could load up just the indicator on its own like this. So you can basically have optimized settings for a strategy, but instead of loading the strategy to trade, you can just load up the indicator with the settings of the strategy. You see, so like there we put 510. Okay, we just loaded up the indicator. That's all we did over there. Now, looking at this, looking at the signal chart, you know, show me the money signal chart, it is phenomenally accurate. And even if you go to the signal chart like this, and you go and you modify this one to, and I would leave the signal chart like it is. Actually, I'm not going to show you that because it's going to just add an extra level of complexity to what you're trying to do. Use the signal chart like it's designed to be used because it's already got documentation for it. But you know, load up these indicators. I mean, load up these when you're doing manual trading. You do not want to be trading manually without the SI indicator. You know, if you're not using the signal chart, show me the money combo 5. You know, there's no point in using this. Okay, so I mean, you want to, if you're trading manually, you want to either be using the show me the money signal chart, okay, as your main signal chart, but any other signal chart that you want to load, make sure you have the brick wall indicator on, because this is going to give you the most powerful, accurate signals to be able to determine where price is going. And if you don't want to have the arrows on, you can disable the arrows. I mean, in the indicator settings, you actually have oh man, you've got the option here to, you know, hide the arrows. The arrows are going to change based on where the price is. Okay, so they're going to produce an initial arrow when the price goes in that direction, but if it changes direction, it's going to change the arrow around. Okay, so that is that. So make sure you use this. I like the setting 259. Okay, I love the setting too. I really think this is a very powerful setting to use. And you'll see even today, look at today's session. We've had green all the way up. We even had a brick wall over there where one red bar showed the price did not break through. This held, and you're freaking off to the races, man. So all the way from the beginning of this session today, you've had a brick wall hold you up over there. You've had a brick wall over there, and you've had literally, you've literally had, you know, hundreds of ticks. You've had over 300 ticks today on this without it changing any signal. So And even for the short moves, I mean, this is the US session. Friday, you've got these brick walls coming to play. You see the coloring of the bars adjust. You know, you are definitely going to have this type of thing too, where the price is going to bounce around a certain area. So, you know, beware of that. But the majority of the time, you're going to have extremely powerful signals off this brick wall, especially when the price comes back and retests it. Oh man, it's just, you know, it's unbelievable signals. And again, you can change this. You know, we'll change the data series on this. I'm going to make it a 40-40, which is a much larger brick. We might have a few more signals on here. Yeah, so it gets a bit more tricky when you adjust the bars larger like this. Of course, you can go to like a trending or even a flat baseline chart. So if you want to go to like, let's go like a 5. Let's go 540. Is that going to make a big difference? Let's have a look. So, I mean, remember each one of these bars, and if you don't want to have, so look at each of these bars. Remember, each bar is 40 ticks. So the price, the baseline width is 5 ticks, okay? So what basically happens over here is the price is going to, every time it goes up 5 ticks, it's going to draw a bar. Unless the price goes down 40 ticks, like if we see over here, so the price has to go down 40 ticks, okay, plus it's got to go down 40 ticks to form a new bar. That's what has to happen. So from the high of the bar, that's a 40 ticks. So every time the price goes down 40 ticks, it's going to form a new bar. And very often, as soon as the price goes and forms a new baseline, it's gonna run up in price. Now that's more evident on the larger time frames, but it's also evident on these. And an interesting thing too, whenever you see a double break like that, and we discussed this months ago on the larger charts, whenever you see a double break like that, it's like a breakdown and an immediate break up. So that's like 40 ticks down, 40 ticks up, like immediately. You know, there's scalping opportunities there. And often you're going to see that. And if we'll switch to a larger bar in a moment. See, you know, you see these brick walls are just phenomenal. They're absolutely phenomenal. So any size that you work on, I don't know how they'll look on a flat baseline. Let me just look at a flat baseline. So let's go to like a 52. See what that looks like. To me, that looks awesome too, actually. So it's a very unique and powerful way to read price. So like as an example here, you've got up. Oh, now we've got a breakdown. Okay, so maybe we should get out of this position. So, I mean, you can choose whatever size that you want, but if you're going for a trending position and you're seeing a breakdown, then that's a good way to get out. Instead of just chasing an initial target, you can actually have a very specific target, or you can have multiple targets. So I love this. I mean, this is one of my favorite indicators, and that's why so many of the automated strategies are actually working off this indicator, because it is so damn powerful. And you know what? Nothing in the world exists like this. You know, a lot of indicators are based on moving averages, or they're based on stochastics. I mean, in fact, every idiot developer out there, when they're building an indicator, the very first thing they do is they go new strategy builder, and then they go and say, okay, well, let's see, let's add this, let's add that, let's add this indicator, let's add that indicator. I mean, that's what they keep on doing. They keep looking at different indicators to see what, to try find a whole bunch of them that work together, and then they will, build indicators on that. They'll build strategies on that. Whereas this indicator here is not built on any of that shit. It's like nothing. So it's completely unique. It's basically been engineered from absolute beginning. It's got nothing to do with any existing indicator within NinjaTrader or any other existing indicator. So, that's why this is set apart far, much set apart compared to everything else that's out there. Okay, so one more thing I'll do on here. Okay, we'll just leave this for now. What else did I want to cover? Let me just check. Let me just think. Okay, so we covered the strategy. Another thing too, guys, if you are trading these funded companies and you're only trading automated strategies, you're probably going to run into trouble with them, because they specifically state on their website, we do not want you to trade fully automated strategies. I mean, look through their terms and conditions. They're going to try and screw you any way they can. So it is vitally, vitally important that together with your automated strategies, you are also trading manual. So you can show them, hey, listen to me. I'm not trading fully automated strategies. First of all, I'm managing them, which is exactly what it says in your guidelines. And secondly, I'm trading manually too. So don't come with your shit. You're not going to pay me out. Okay, so that's something, that I think all of you guys need to do. You all need to master manual trading as well as the automated trading. Okay, so that's, excuse me, guys. That's me for today. Look at these signal charts. Definitely trade them, work on them. They absolutely kick ass. Okay, guys, I think I'll leave the call there. There's nothing else I needed to cover. Like I said, I'm going to reevaluate the updates to the strategy. We covered this a little bit. We covered the new update. So the new update is basically, the only thing that is different with the strategy, okay, is adding this counter strategy option there, where instead of taking long trades, it's taking short trades, or instead of taking short trades, it's taking long trades. That's exactly the only difference it is. In fact, that's it. So that's exactly what it does. All right. So baseline wick trader, like as an example, the standard baseline wick trader with these specific settings on 5, 10, 0, 0, these would have been short trades. Okay, that's the difference. So exactly what you're seeing here is opposite to how the normal baseline wick trader is trading if this button is ticked. Okay, the counter strategy. So it's taking the exact same positions that the baseline wick trader would take, but just making them opposite. So instead of long, they'll be short. But then obviously you're going to optimize them, right? So you're not going to just use your existing settings and go reverse. You're going to optimize the settings using this reversing signals filter. Cool. Okay, guys. I'll update you guys later in the game plan chat. I'm going to work on this today just to check, make sure that all the figures are matching like they should. So basically, the game plan for the week ahead. The strategies must match. They must match last week's settings. Okay, so the new assembly should match last week's settings without the counter strategy, without that counter button used. They should match that already. They have to match that. So I'm going to make sure that they do, and then that feature is going to be additionally. So yes, you can definitely optimize that. You can optimize the baseline wick trader using that. So if you bring up your strategy, what do we use? Strategy analyzer. Yeah, so if you bring up your strategy analyzer, don't worry about these stupid indicators in NinjaTrader. I mean, there's a message in NinjaTrader. It's yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, so It's just we're stretching the shit out of this platform. Okay, anyway, baseline week trader. Where are we? Baseline week trader. Yes, so you could optimize the strategy as you normally did, but if you want to, you can optimize this. Okay, if you want to optimize that, you just got to tick that box, and it will be the same thing. Okay, so that's what you got to do. So I'll do a very quick one over here. Let's just load one. Let's just load this one for interest sakes. Okay, let's just make this 50, 60, 70, 80. I don't know. Let's just make them all 4s for interest sakes. Okay, let's just make them all 4s. Let's optimize this over here. 210. And we'll go to 58. And we'll just make this 0 for now. Okay, so we'll do that, and then I'll just check the dates on over here. Let's just do, I'm not going to do a large period of optimization just because we don't need, just for this thing over here. And let's make this let's make this a 20 and a 20. And let's just go from, we'll just make it a shorter date range. Let's just make it from like the 14th. Okay, 14th of 7th. Up until today, we've got to change the entries per direction, right? Because now we're doing 4 entries per direction. And also, we're going to go to the top here because now we've got 4, 4, 4, 4. So we've got to make sure that we have the max orders per direction. That's got to be 16, right? Because we've got 4 lots of 4. Our tick distance, let's just go, actually let's keep it at 30, 40, 50 and 60. Let's see what this looks like. And we run that. Shit, I'm coughing here like a freaking old person. Okay, well that didn't really work out too well, did it? Okay, so let me just, I've got the Monday, Tuesday. Okay, yeah, I'll just have to check what's going on over here because this was working 100%. I'll run this one more time. I just want to check if the strategy daily target and stop had an effect on that. So 14 to 28. I'm just making sure that everything else right like it should be. We've got that. We've got that. Yeah, something's not 100% here with the strategy targets on when that setting is used. I don't know what the hell is that, what that is. But anyway, so let's have a look at, let's just see if this is over multiple days. Yeah, you see something's not 100% right there. So just give me a bit of time on this and I will see what's going on. Like I said, that update should not have changed anything else about the strategy. But I'm going to just see where this has entered positions, which is only over there. Okay, so let me just reevaluate this and just see exactly, but you can see there's 1, 2, the price didn't hit the third one. Yeah, okay. All right, let me just reevaluate this, guys. And what I'll do is I'll pop a message. So you guys are going to bed now anyway, which is fine. But I'm going to pop a message in the chat for the strategy under the baseline wick trader. and I'll update you guys. There more than likely will be a new assembly released before you guys start your trading session next week, before you start your trading session on Monday. So I'm going to update that as well as the game plan, and then we'll be good to go. So I just might need a couple of hours just to go through a few things and compare the code from the previous release to this release, and just make sure there's nothing. There could just be one small little thing that was missed. So let me just check up on that and get back to you guys. Hey guys, have an awesome day and week ahead, and watch out for the chats in the Discord channel, and we'll get you guys set up perfectly for success for the week ahead. Okay guys, have a good one and chat soon. Okay, cheers.